Hello. Okay, so my name is Bolton-Warberg and I'm now 30, but ever since I was 11 I've known what kind of person I want to be with. Now when I was 11 I actually wrote it down. I wrote down all the details, like his education, his personality, you know, what he was to look like, that kind of stuff. You know, I wrote that mad stuff down. Why is that, you might think? Well, when you're 11 and you're like, you know, haven't really had any experience or whatever, you're gonna think that stuff's crazy, but there you go, that's a kid for you. So when I wrote all this out, I'd also written down that I was gonna meet this perfect guy by the time I was 24. So yeah, I was quite amazed to realise only a few weeks after I was 24 that a few weeks before I was 25, that yeah, I'd met him. We're now engaged. You can see there, we're engaged. We've been engaged now for the last 2 years. We got engaged 2004 January 1st. So yeah, when I said to him before, I said I'm up for being with you for 5 years. I said, but I'm hoping to have a ring before that, you know. And when I said it to him, like, I wasn't saying it to him in a mean or whatever way. I was saying it to him in a way of, yeah, okay, we gotta kind of hurry this up because, well, as most people know, yeah, it was a good thing for me to have done. I wasn't expecting him to do so like a year before the, you know, 5th year. But when he asked me, I was like, yeah, of course I will. I mean, we've been together for 4 years, and I'll tell you something. Most people, well, take out that most people. Me, I am the kind of person that I feel that if I'm with somebody and if I really, really like them, I'll be with them for a good while. Now, and I don't mean just 3 weeks. 2-3 weeks. 2-3 week people I have gone out with and I have then broken up with. I have broken up with for a good reason. That reason was because I just didn't feel anything for them. Because, you know, sometimes when you start to go out with someone, you don't feel absolutely everything there is that you need to feel. I don't know how it is, you know, but you just tend to be able to go, yeah, they're for me, or, you know, I want to look around, still look around, you know, take my time, you know. So that's what I did. We were together 4 years, and then he asked me to marry him on the 1st of January, and 2004, or sorry, 2011, he asked me to marry him. And of course, I said, yeah, God, yeah, of course. So, there you go. Or sorry, it's 2012. Yeah, so I've found my life very lucky. I have realized that I am now 30. I now have a diploma in massage. I have my childcare 5 VTAC award. Yeah, so I've kind of got it made for me. All I need now is, you know, the good job and the good house, you know, nice car, blah blah blah. But I mean, I'm fine. I mean, I am pretty fucking lucky because I have been to so many places. I mean, I've lived in Ireland, right, for the last number of years. But before that, when I was like between the ages of 3 and 7, when I lived in the States, and I learned how people were over there. A lot of people were like, "You're from where?" And I would be like, "I'm from Ireland." And I'd have only said this now to people around my age, so, you know. And that wouldn't be very many people, because I was so different when I was younger. I was like stunned, completely stuck for words. I had no idea what to say. So I really got over that when I was like 11. So anyway, since then I have been with Nicholas, and we're hoping to be married in the next 2 years in June 12th, or on June 12th, sorry. So, you know, it'll be a while yet. So I'm just telling you what I've been through my whole life. You know, it's just to kind of tell people that I've actually been able to be told a lot more things. Like, I heard when I was in second year of school that if both of your parents are, you know, from different countries, then your possibilities of being very good with languages is there. When I was like really young, I was never thinking of any languages to have to do, because, well, when you're in infants, you're not having to do languages, except for the one you're doing, like English, which is what I did. Then when I went into doing my first few classes in Ireland, I had to do Irish, you know, and I took it, and I was like, yeah, definitely, I don't care if I've never done this before, I'm doing it now because I am Irish. It's, you know, kind of what I should be doing anyway. So I took that on board, and then when I went into secondary school and I did this and that, I did my Irish, of course, my English, and I did French and German for the first 3 years. And then when I went into fourth year, I decided to just do French, because I felt I was doing much better at French than I was in German. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's what I did. I've always been very lucky with my abilities of, besides my languages, I've also been lucky in the manner of being able to go off to different places, have no problem, you know. I'm not necessarily saying in speaking I've no problem, because I'm not that good with French or German, you know what I mean. But I'm just saying that I was never in a way of speechless when I'd hear someone else talking in a language that I'd never heard of before. I would listen, but I would also try my best to understand what they're saying. And of course, like most people, when you don't know what they're saying, you don't know what they're saying. You can't really make it up. I remember going to Denmark so many times and having people say to my dad, "Oh, so your girl's fluent in Danish?" And my dad would say, "No, well, I've never taught them any Danish, and I don't think their mom has, so therefore they can't. They've got basic, you know, Danish. They can say hello, goodbye, thank you for the food, and that's all, you know." And I like whatever. Yeah, so that's, I can go hej, farvel, welcome, tak for mail. That's it. That's all my Danish. My French, I have ja, nej, I can't really remember much else. Vêtements, I always love that word, vêtements, which is clothes in, you know, French. And I think it was because it was that bit different, you know. It wasn't like, oh, vêtements is obviously clothes, because, you know, you wouldn't think of it unless you're actually someone that has learnt that in your French class, which I remember, you know, having done. I can remember some words in German, but like, it's not that much. I mean, yeah, I can't really remember much in the language of German. I mean, not in this role of being kind of put on the spot, you know. It's different Nor Tommy Counting Yaga Tom Kerklor Tom Abelta Counting Yaga Oranta August Shine Och in our era Bavralo Machanga Tá sé intach tá sé nuair bhí seach nuair thosaíonn mé ag caint in nuair bhí mé sa Gaeltacht mar near what loan, you know, I wouldn't want to look like, you know, the big know-it-all or whatever at the Gaeltacht, because I found if you're seen by other people in Gaeltacht to seem to know exactly what you're talking about, and you can be like in, you know, Gaelga and have no problem in the language, yeah, you're more likely to get less friends. And I'm saying that because it's a fact. Yeah, people have a complete fair play to you if they know you can speak some Irish, right? But, you know, you don't want to go over the top because it's just a really bad idea. So it's okay if you can speak, you know, a little bit of it now and then, you know. I never had such a problem like Tom Abelta a kind lawn ruddy. So Sinead Cearcail agus slán leat agus gur a mágad.